Sorry, I just got in. I was reading an email somebody sent me. We were having this conversation about gun control, and my argument is every country that either has full or high restrictions on guns, their crime rate always goes up. And their argument is that just hasn't been enough time in those countries to go by to get all the illegal guns off the streets. Because once the police are able to round up all the guns, then it'll be a nice, safe society or whatever. And, I say an armed society is a polite society, but whatever. Can't win every argument. But my line of thinking is, what about the towns in America? And I can think of at least two off the top of my head. One in Georgia and another in Idaho. Their names escape me at the moment, but quick Google search will render that. Anyways, in these two towns, it is required by law to own, maintain a gun in your household. If you, of course, are not a felon and don't have a restraining order and no domestic assault. If you meet the federal requirements to own a gun, then you're by law required to keep one in your residence. Well, the cities that have tried this, their crime rate has dropped. It went down almost immediately. It went down. It's staying down, and it's still going down. That's a pretty simple statistic to follow. I mean, I don't know how you could argue that. And their argument back is, well, in Mexico it's pretty easy to get a gun, but their crime rate's high. Well, yes, in Mexico it is easy to get a gun, but it's not easy to legally obtain a firearm in Mexico. See, it's really easy to go down there and buy whatever you want. Anything. Gun, anything else. It's not easy to legally own a gun there. So that kind of defeats the purpose of my argument, is that if you're trying to obey the law, why is it you're making it easier for the criminals to do whatever the hell they want? Because that's pretty much what gun control is giving criminals a free ride. I mean, like I said, armed society is a polite society. If we compare, say, LA or New York to Dallas-Fort Worth, they're both large metroplexes. I mean, obviously Dallas isn't near as big as LA, but their crime rate is exponentially lower because there are more people with guns there. There's not a very high rate of people with guns in Dallas. But if we say, like, smaller towns where more people do own guns, crime rate is exponentially lower than in Dallas. Is there a correlation there? Well, most people would say no. It's hard to argue. I mean, you knew somebody was carrying a gun, you want to try to mug them? Well, it's okay to have your views. It is. I don't have a problem with that. I encourage people to have their own ideas and their own views. I don't have a problem with people voicing their views at all. I like that. I like voicing my opinion. I encourage others to voice theirs. Where I draw the line is, do not try to force your opinion onto me and say it's fact. Don't do it. You wouldn't use a textbook that's more than 10 years old, because we're all constantly finding out new things. That's science. That's physics, quantum physics, what have you. And we regard that as absolute fact. If textbook is outdated every 10 years because we're constantly learning new things, how can you claim that whatever you think is a fact? It's not possible. I'm sorry, it's not.